Uh, but like I was saying, Friday 13th, I was like, damn. So, but it's like I said, been a long, rough day. What about your day? How was your Friday 13th?
It was fine. Just did the normal stuff. I did a lot of admin stuff, like on the platforms and um,
Mm-hmm.
finalizing stuff. I need to work on editing, but
Oh yeah,
you know,
cause
a good editor.
well, I'm see, I will offer my services, but I'm already for
Overbooked.
anybody. I'm already yeah. I mean, I would do it for people because I'm used to editing. I'm experiencing it. It don't take much, and
Mm-hmm.
I know how to do transition. It's just what are you looking for? Though you talking about? Do you want trailers? Do you want me just to edit the full shit, and you want trailers? You know, because people don't realize it, when a content trade happens, you're supposed to get the raw and uncut to begin with,
Mm-hmm.
pics and video. And if they choose to edit it, they edit it. It just ladies luck up because the guys sometimes give it to you already edited.
That would be nice. I wouldn't mind, but I usually get the raw footage, and then sometimes I shoot and I forget to get pictures. Uh, so I have to remind myself, like I've got a lot of footage that I have to get pictures from, just screen grabs. And
Mhm.
as wonderful as they are, um, there's something to be said from an actual still picture. Um, so
Mm.
so I have to
Interesting.
remember. Well, because you can pose and you can get a certain look, and you can
Mhm.
take like a series and then pick. Oh, I like that one the best. Whereas if you're in the moment and you're taking it from a screen grab,
Mhm.
it's going to be blurry. There's going to be movement. Just yeah.
Yeah, and see that's see how much it was crazy. It even back in the day when you know what I'm saying when I was coming in the game or whatever. I know y'all get sick and tired when y'all hear me say back in the day.
Hey, I'm back in the day, and my back in the day, even though it feels like it was, I don't know, 5 years ago, even though I'm 50, and it's been like 30 years ago as back in the day, but it only
Yeah,
feels like 5 years to me.
I'm saying. So it's like it. That's we did the picture stills. Um, it, we did the picture stills because it was also part of the package with the pretty girl pictures. Because like even when you think of a photo shoot, it was okay. She did a photo shoot in the outfit that she was in from Clove to Nude. Then she did a photo shoot with the male talent. Part of that is the blowjob, where he's not completely unclothed, period.
Right.
Then they shoot the scene. Then either during this course of the scene or after the scene, that's when they shoot the action stills, period. So it was so just once again, we just was not just fucking. No. It was a lot of fucking just for that one scene because you gotta figure the pics as well as the video.
Yep. Exactly.
So I'm gonna ask you a question. What stills when it comes to your scenes that you have to get? What positions?
Uh, Actually, I just need the prep going up to it because you
Mhm.
can always do the screen grab of like, uh, if you have a good camera guy, they can
Mhm.
do like a burst sequence in the
Mhm.
middle of filming. They can just kind of like quickly stop when they see a good section coming up, and they'll just do a
Mhm.
quick burst. Just hold your finger down on your cell phone because
Mhm.
it's amazing what our cell phones can do nowadays. Um,
Mhm. Now, what I used to
and that's
love. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, and that's if you have a camera person,
Mhm.
that's which that's ultimate. But if you're shooting on your own,
Mhm.
then
Yeah, I'm
then
gonna tell
you're
you how
just
gangster I was when I was actually working the camera. I grabbed the picture camera and take shots.
hmm
But let me tell you what you dumb fuckers do. take the flash off. They'll
It's
forget,
too bright.
and it don't look good that you see the flash in the scene.
True.
You what you had looking like Hollywood now went back to looking like OnlyFans.
Yeah. But you know what? So I went and shot a couple scenes recently, and
Mm-hmm.
we did a lot of the camera light box only. So we had the room
Mm-hmm.
dark, and it just
Mm-hmm.
highlighted the person. And I really like that. I really like that. The reason
Mm-hmm.
being is that you don't have to worry about shadows. You don't have to worry about positioning so much,
Yeah.
because wherever your camera light is, that's where you're going to
Mm-hmm.
highlight on and focus on.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know. It's almost more intimate. Like you walked in to a bedroom, when you're just
Mm-hmm.
doing your normal thing, and you just caught some random act. So I think it's more intimate, I guess you could say. So I'm really digging that visual at the moment.
Ooh. So we're gonna put a pin in that and come back to it. Hello, smokers. How you doing? You know what time it is. Time to smoke this over. Welcome to the Smokers Lounge. I'm your host, Kevin Auburn Southern Champ, aka the Porn Rap Star. Find all my links with one link, allmylinks.com/Porn Rap Star. 4 sponsors, I'm gonna go through them quickly. RockCitizenMagazine.com, BlushErotica.com, the Kinky Cabinet Company, and the Queen of Law, Mitchell Ferrari. You can find me FullSwapRadio.com 5 days out the week in the mornings. Also find me on SkyHorrorAfterDarkTV.com as well as the BGP LLC app. Now, you have seen her interview. You have enjoyed her in the Premium Smoke Room. So now she is back once again in the lounge. She is sexy. She is gorgeous. She is rocking. And she is a hot GILF or MILF. It just depends upon what you think her age might be. I'm talking about none other than the one that she's game for any game that you want to throw at her. I'm talking about Hollee Huntress. Say hello to the smokers.
Hi, everybody. It's nice to be back. I appreciate the opportunity to be back on the Smokers Lounge and hang out with you guys on this wonderful Friday the 13th.
Oh, for sure, for sure, for sure. So now let's take the pen out of it and get back to what you were talking about with that. That to me, what the way you were talking about is shot is once again creative.
Yep.
Because it's like like this. If you're gonna do a straight fuck scene, it needs to have a creative look to it for it to go over to stand out. Period. I feel that any scene should have a setup to it. Whether she's on her butt, whether she's twerking, whether she is playing with herself. Um, you know what I'm saying? Any of this, because to me, just having having sex doesn't sell the scene.
Mm-mm. You want something different,
Yeah.
enticing. That's the reason why I think talking is important in a scene as well. Like you have to vocalize, describing what you're doing, because it's just brings it out and it adds imagination.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
And see, too, also the fans want to hear if it feels good. They want to
yes.
hear her moan. They want to. I mean, don't get it twisted. Like producers used to kick girls off the set. They didn't moan enough or make enough noise.
Well, you
So
don't want a dead fish.
no.
So, but you can also say that for guys too, because if guys aren't really vocalizing too much, you might
Mm-hmm.
think that, oh, maybe he's not interested, or maybe he's not really into her, and this is, oh, this
Yeah.
is just a bunch of acting or whatever. But
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna ask you this: so when people like back in the day when they were saying how fake the moaning sound and all that, do you think? I'm gonna ask you: do you think because they still was fucking? Do you think it was fake, or do you think it was just over the top?
Some of it was over the top, because it sounded too good to be true, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But I think now people are just enjoying it, and
Yeah.
it's more readily available. It's more acceptable,
Mm-hmm.
and so people are just enjoying themselves. I know I do.
Well, see, what people don't realize is that the scenes that were shot back in the 80s were not as intense or as in depth as what we're shooting now. Because, like, their sex scene, if you want to be honest, if you really paid attention, was probably 10 minutes at best.
Mhm. Yep.
No bullshit. 10 minutes. It was a 20-minute scene. 10 of it was talking. The last
Yep.
10 was the sex. Now
Yep.
it's 5 minutes with 30 minutes of sex. So, to me, do you think that the way that we film now lends to why there's more realism with the sex?
I think technology has enabled the more raw reality every day. Like that could be me, and a lot of people are doing it because technology has gotten to the point where that we can all be our own porn stars. You know, we all have cell phones that have the capability of doing all these wonderful things. They can record, they can edit, they can, transmit large, massive quantities of data. Back in the 80s,
Mhm.
everything had to be scripted. And so it had to be, okay, cut. And there was a lot more editing process. Now, if you have a good
They
camera
use
person,
they use VHS or reels, and so people
yep,
can understand. Just like you said, yes, to technology.
yeah,
Because I think about when I got into it, what I had to go through just to get the shit off the camera.
that's right. If you shot on a camera on an 8 millimeter or something like that on the reels, you had to develop that. And that
Mm,
took time. Like, we're old. So do you remember dropping off your film to go get,
yes.
and it took 2 weeks? Now you take a picture and you're looking at it and you're like, okay, I need to make my waist a little bit skinnier here. You've got an app that just, you know, blurs all of your wrinkles or
Yeah.
takes out your blemishes or whatever. And just technology has advanced to make it much easier. I think that's the reason why there's so many more new individuals getting into this type of work and
But
enjoying.
but I'm asking you this. Is it I'm asking you because I was just doing I was doing a 3-part series on Why We Fail. I need to check it out in the Premium Smoke Room. But Smoke is Over Dark. Where one of the things I said is not just sex. Or it's more than just sex. And one thing I was talking about was because technology has made it easier. You feel
Mhm.
me? What and excuse me, not only did it made it easier, it made it so easier that there's nothing left to do this taboo.
The-
You feel what I'm saying?
Pretty
It
much. Well, I mean, there's
yeah.
taboo things because they're illegal, literally illegal.
Oh
But
yeah. But
it
I mean, but
has
shit,
it has
even
made
that
it
to a certain
so.
extent.
Yeah,
Because you got motherfuckers like I make the joke, but I'm dead serious. Motherfuckers be getting bent over in the Walmart. it
true.
regularly. You know what I'm saying? Period. I'm like, people are bold. They be wearing the uniforms of Home Depot and in Home Depot. Stop. So it's kind of like what
That's the
was
voyeurism.
taboo? Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
anal. Ain't you remember back then anal was a rarity.
a
You
rarity.
know,
Yeah, and
extreme
now
rarity.
people are like anal queens or kings, and they're like, "Yep, that's all I do." I'm like, okay, you go. There's a niche for everybody because
Mhm,
there's a fetish for everybody, um, and everything turns everybody on. So, or different people
mhm,
turns them on. Could be an article of clothing. It could be a body part. It could be
mhm,
an accent. It could be you name it.
mhm.
And there's something for everybody.
But see, the thing that I think is that the key of it is that if you want to be in this business, you want to actually be ahead of the herd. You know what I'm saying? You just don't want to be a part of the sheep. So the question I bring to you is because of how open porn has now become.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? With the saturation, with the how do you maintain the fantasy of it? Because to me, the ladies that I've seen that has been successful in this have long term, they've created the fantasy. Reality, whether it's relatable, I don't give a fuck what you want to call it. They created the fantasy, period. While the girls that have not been able to create that, you see what happened with them. So my question is, how do you create the fantasy, which is Hollee Huntress?
That's a good question. For me, I didn't start this until later in life and started enjoying that aspect. I mean, I was in lifestyle for a long time, but I think for me is just being authentic. Like, I am very approachable. Like, I don't feel that I am better than anybody else. And I'm going to be true to myself. And if I'm true to myself, then that's going to shine through. And I want everybody to realize, hey, you may have an opportunity to be with Hollee too. If I'm your favorite porn star, that I really am obtainable. Like, they have fantasies about these different stars and they're like, oh, I can never be with her. But for me, I'm a hot wife. So, okay, I'm obtainable, and you may have the opportunity. So I'm just I try to be friendly, open, honest, and just authentic to myself. And then that way, that kind of is the, hey, I might be with a porn star too. She's shot with all these famous people, and ooh, I want that opportunity. You never know.
Now, it's interesting that you mentioned the Hot Wife and Hot GILF, which is part of the Hot GILF Tour, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get into that in a minute. But funny how Hollywood at one point, especially porn, wanted the ladies to be single because that was part of being the attainable. Now they want your ass married or the appearance of being married.
Yep.
Now, please, how wild is that for you? Knowing what I mean, because I know you didn't get into porn back in the day or what have you, but knowing and hearing what people talk about how porn was, to where now you being married or possibly attached, having the red wing in the scene, actually is a great selling point.
It is. It is. Well, there is a fantasy on that. Like, some guys are like, man, I want to. That is a taboo. Like, you're not supposed to covet somebody else's wife, but there's a lot of people that do. And there's the fantasy. Like, I want to fuck his wife. And, well, okay. So, and she wants to fuck you too.
Yeah, because to me, it was funny how, like I said, the term hot wives here in 2024 has became hot, that term now. You know what I'm saying? It's synonymous with the MILF and what have you. Now we have the Hot Wife Tour, we had the Hot GILF Tour, or what have you, which I think y'all stopped off at the at ASN Awards. How was the ASN Awards?
There was a little hiccup. However, it came together very nicely at a private affair, which was as a club in Maryland, and it was quaint. It was nice. At the last minute, things had to change, but it was a nice venue, and the awards went well. The MC was amazing. Everybody had a good time. Some of my friends won. Some of my friends didn't win. So I was there to support and to cheer them on and have a good time, and we did.
Oh my goodness! And did y'all do any shooting that weekend?
We did.
Ooh.
Yes. Yeah, we did.
Oh my God.
So,
So 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 please explain to the smokers the what is the Hot GILF Tour?
well, I have the honor and the privilege of being asked to be a part of the Hot GILF Tour. So, GILF could stand for grandmas I like to fuck, or it could be girls I like to fuck, because in technicality,
Mm,
I am not a GILF. I do not have grandkids yet,
mm,
maybe someday. Um, but I am in the age range of being able to have grandkids. So there's that.
mm,
So technically, I'm not a grandmother, but I could be.
mm.
And we are, oh, go ahead.
No. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's fine. So we are going to be attending Exotica, New Jersey this coming
Mm,
October. So just in a couple weeks. And
mm,
then in November, we're going to be heading to Vegas for our first GILF tour shoot
mm,
house.
mm,
And we have some special guests that are going to be coming to the house, and we're going to have lots of the ladies. We have 11 ladies total, and some support staff. So I think right now there's about 15 members that are on the GILF tour,
mm,
ladies and support staff. And
mm,
we're going to have once a quarter,
mm,
so 4 shoots a year. It's going to be Vegas, Myrtle Beach, Tampa, and Phoenix. Those are
mm,
our stops. And then we're going to be hitting up the different, like AVN. Not everybody's going to be able to come to that, obviously, but
mm,
AVN will have a presence. Exotica
mm,
Chicago will have a presence, so that our
mm.
fans can meet us, and we can shoot with some new talent and be out there.
So, so now, what made them decide to do this tour? Because of course, we do have people that do content houses and stuff of this nature. Was it because one to market the age graphic because of it being gifts, um, or was it it because to me it's a great marketing strategy.
It is, and it's a little bit of both. So the marketing, most of us are Gen Xers. And so with our Gen Xers,
Mm,
we kind of we make our own rules
yeah.
and we forge our own way. And you've got some Gen Xers out here that are hot as fuck. They're just gorgeous, men and women. And just because we get older doesn't mean we lose our sexuality.
Yeah.
And I think that that is a people need to understand that we are still sexual beings and we still have needs and desires, and we still want to live life. And you hear about the villages all the time, right?
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
oh, the older people, well, that's where we're headed to, but we're going to do it in the safely.
I mean,
And
because
yeah.
to me it's like one the reason why I like seeing the Hot MILF tour, the Hot GILF tour, is that it proves my point what I've been saying for the longest. Older women running this game now. It is a female that want to get into this business, in my opinion, shouldn't touch this business unless she's in her mid to late 30s. Because older women, one, know themselves sexually enough to want to be able to do this.
Mhm.
Not just when I'm talking about physical. I'm talking about you ain't catching feelings because the dick that good.
Facts. Facts.
Because young girls, yeah, let's keep it 100. I'm sorry, I don't mean to
Mhm.
upset. That's why a lot of young girls are so mad and be on them podcasts talk about so OnlyFans fucked my life up because no, you fell in love with some dick that you thought that was gonna be yours.
Mhm. Or
No.
you could say that for guys too. That pussy was so damn good that they got pussy drunk and dick drunk. So
Would you like to go out to dinner? She got a whole husband at home. You ask her if she want to go out to dinner.
right. Well, there you go. There's the fantasy of the cuckolding and stuff.
Yeah,
That
period.
works.
I
That
mean,
works for
yeah,
me.
but that's only if he did his job on camera. Because I'm pretty sure there was some guys who was like, oh yeah. Then after you film, I'm like, oh.
Thank you. That was wonderful. I appreciate it. Well, I'll circle back on that one.
So it's like because we always had the conversation that like you might work with a talent that you wouldn't normally fuck personally, but then when you fuck them on camera, it's like, oh, I will fuck you personally. And sometimes it goes the opposite direction.
That happened. That happened.
Ooh,
That happened recently.
Names, but tell us how good was it that it had to continue?
The feelings were just like, damn, okay, yeah, that was really good. Yeah, let's continue this because we needed a break, and I was like, okay, yeah. It was late, and we were like, yeah, we're good. We know we're tested. We're just gonna enjoy this.
Yeah, because I mean, sometimes that thing gets so hot, it needs a continuation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. I mean, I haven't been there before.
Yep. And you're like,
I mean,
I got a bed partner for tonight.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but see, the thing about it is us understanding. That's why I said you got to be cold, man, to do this business as porn star, because you have to be able to separate the personal from the business. Because even though, yeah, me and you might have fucked off camera because it got hot bothered, that doesn't mean that we're gonna be dating. You
Exactly.
know, period. And it's like, put it this way. Does age help with that thought process?
I think so. I really think so. Because you can compartmentalize. Like, you know yourself. You know when you're, hey, look, we have great sex. I am enjoying this. We don't have to just do it on camera because I just enjoy our vibe.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, hey, I'll call you. I'll talk to you in a couple weeks, or when we're in town, let's get together. But there's no like, I need to date you, or I'm changing my situation because I fell in love. No, it's just great sex, and we can differentiate between great sex and actual, chemistry, falling in love, the whole thing. I found my soulmate. I'm never getting married again, ever. Like, if something happens, it's not going to be divorce. It'll be something much more permanent. If something happens,
she says,
to him,
it is death to us part.
Exactly. Because I found my partner.
Yeah. But the thing about it is kind of like porn doesn't lend to us being married. Correct. You get what I'm coming from? The way that they sell it, period. Because they feel that you being attached and people knowing it hurts your marketability and bookability, period. Now, to me, in this day and age, that's kind of changed because of the content creator, because you also have these couples that come in the game together,
that's
period.
Right.
Which I have my reservations about you couples that come into the game.
They have their own set of dynamics that they have to deal with.
Yeah.
Now, for couples that come into the industry together or find each other, I will say this. There may be more tension for off-camera sex because that's a whole different dynamic. But as far as the hot wife, for me, it's not.
But see, the thing about it is damn, one, you're anchored. Because I said this before, what saved me a lot was the fact that I was in a long-term relationship while doing this. Because it's like females will get dick drunk and fall for it. Because I didn't have females that tried to convince me to leave mine to be with them. And same thing happened with guys and what have you. Period. And I think that also I look at it too, and y'all can look it up. Married people have way more success in porn than single. I said it.
Yep. Yep.
And now I'm gonna ask you a question. From the outside looking in, am I off?
Nope. Nope. Not at all.
So, would you like to explain to the smokers why that is a fact, probably statistically, and a high statistic? If people actually did the statistic.
Well, I don't know the statistics, but I'm sure that you're level-headed, you're reasonable, you're in there, you're business-minded, you're like, okay, let's do this scene. I vibe with you. It's going to come across chemistry-wise because I enjoy this person, my talent that I'm my co-star working with. And then at the end of the day, you're like, that was great. Okay. See you tomorrow. And then you go home to your rock and you have great sex. You talk about, oh yeah, that scene went fire, and sometimes the camera person is your significant other. So there's that.
Yeah, because I mean, don't get twisted. Exception to the rules. I've done talk to people who were in the swinging lifestyle. That was doing porn. That was a couple that eventually broke up. Yeah, I've not talked to people about that. But when I think on a whole, on the upper average, it's like the swing couples are happy and successful. Seems to me. But see, I think, but go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say one key term: communication. Because if they're swinging couples specifically, they've already communicated their fears, their desires, their hang-ups, whatever. They've worked it out. And if they swing successfully, it's a pretty easy transition to translate into adult because they've already established that. But communication is the bedrock of that dynamic.
Oh yeah, because he's already used to you getting fucked by somebody else. So what's the difference that it's being filmed?
Exactly. And especially if it's the guy, he's got a co-star, female co-star. The wife is not jealous because they've already been doing this. They've already established that connection, that communication. They're like, okay, yeah, we can fuck other people, totally fine. And then they go home together.
Yeah.
So communication.
Because see, I think that also being in this business makes you have to communicate. You have to be open. You have to, because to me, when I look at traditional marriages, the reason why they fail half the time because there's no communication between the husband and the wife. They don't want to talk about their real sexual desires, their hang-ups, and all that stuff. But when it comes to people in the poly or the swinging lifestyle on a whole, we have to have the hard conversation because trust me, to do this, you got to have a hard conversation.
You have the hard conversation, and when you have those, it builds trust. And that trust is sacred until it's broken. And then once it's broken, then it can fall apart really quickly. But that can happen in a regular marriage too. When trust and communication, communication is a bedrock that builds to trust.
But see, like I said, the conversation. Let me paint the picture. The conversation comes down to him being able to fuck others, she being able to fuck others. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether they're in the same room or not. That is the hardest conversation, the hardest thing for any human being because of how we are taught, how we are raised, how it's been beaten in our heads since we were 5 years old.
Before that.
I'm saying, even though we about to have a very interesting discussion about Napoleon Bonaparte. But I digress. Because I think it would be fun to have it with her. Oh, trust me, this is going to be a good episode today. My point being is, we have to actually unlearn that shit within the conversation. You feel what I'm saying?
Yep. You have to walk through those insecurities as to how we were raised, especially females. We're socialized totally different than males. And I would say it even goes to biology, just for human nature. But that's a kind of weird theory that I'm not going to discuss, because people were like, "Oh my God, she's really weird if she's thinking that." But I have my resources, so
I mean, if you want to speak, if you want to talk if you want to do your theory, I mean, you can go ahead. I'll give you the platform. I love good theories. I have a few my damn self, but I digress.
Okay, well, here, this is, follow the logic.
Okay.
How many? We're all animals.
Oh yeah.
How many animal species are out there, mammals, that are monogamous? There are very few. Wolves, geese are two examples of monogamous creatures. There are some eagles out there. It takes, what is the ultimate goal of any animal? To procreate.
Yeah.
So to have genetic material continue. Those animal species, they have multiple litters per year, multiple eggs, babies per year. And in each litter, each clutch, are multiple eggs. So 4 to 6 for puppies, or 6 eggs for geese. They'll have spring and a fall. Lots of opportunities for those offspring to survive, to get out there. All right. Gestation to the time that the offspring is able to go off on its own is very relatively short. Okay. Humans take 10 months to gestate, and 10 years ish plus to be able to go off on their own. Now, would you let a 10-year-old go off on their own? No. I wouldn't even let an 18-year-old go off on their own right now.
No.
But honestly, if they were left, they technically might be able to survive. So long rearing times, long gestation times, those are more in line with matriarchal societies like elephants. 2-year gestation, 10 to 12 years of rearing in order for that offspring to be viable. And then the male species of that go off on their own, and then the females all stay together. So we are more like elephants than we are wolves. And I don't think humans were meant to be truly monogamous. Biologically, if you look at nature's examples. So that's my theory.
I'm going to tell you what's funny. I'm right in line with her theory, because actually, I agree with you totally. Because not just on the animal end, I put it this way. Where did we get the concept of what marriage is? Where we got it from? Honestly.
That was control. That was a control mechanism to keep from all of the feral men running around and just impregnating. It was a long time ago. We paired up.
It's you know what I'm saying? Now, marriage was considered a transaction for the most part, right?
Yep.
Now, this goes into the part of the show that I want to talk about, Napoleon Bonaparte. Because if anyone have ever seen, if you got Apple TV, go watch Napoleon, the movie, Joaquin Phoenix. Actually, it was good, and it went in a direction that I was not expecting. Because
I haven't watched it yet. I'll have to watch it.
If you into BDSM, you into the swinger lifestyle, I suggest you watch it, because there's so much symbolism in that motherfucker. But back to the point. We're not meant to be monogamous. Monogamy is actually supposed to be a mental state. Our heart and mind supposed to be with one. But our bodies, our sexual nature, our sexualness is supposed to be shared. Period. I mean, you can look through the Bible when, come on, you had the kings. They always talk about the kings had multiple concubines and harems. Well, people, They didn't tell you that the queen had it too. I
Because
was
she
just
was
talking
supposed to
about
be
this.
virtuous. She's supposed to be virtuous, and again, that's how women were socialized, is that they weren't supposed to have multiple partners, and so.
But we had evidence of this because, like I said,
Yeah.
back to Napoleon Bonaparte. So Napoleon, of course, had a wife named Josephine. Now, first of all, Josephine used to be a royal that ended up becoming a whore. Whore as in she was a prostitute. She was paid to fuck with Napoleon
Napoleon.
Bonaparte. She was still fucking Napoleon
Yeah.
Bonaparte's best friend.
There you go.
Napoleon Bonaparte finds out,
You don't like that.
confronts her, cuts her out. Now, look, I'm paraphrasing the conversation that was in the movie.
Right.
Napoleon, first of all, was a cuck. He
There's
was a
nothing wrong with
cuck.
that.
He was a cuck. Now, understand, this is the guy that y'all look at as a military genius. He was a cuck. Let me explain why. She said, "Shut up and sit down. You're not going to do anything. Without me, you are nothing. Say it." In tears, the man said, "I am nothing without you." He was going to get court-martialed for desertion. He said he came back to France, said it was broke, it looked like shit. Oh, by the way, I came back to find out that my wife is a slut.
It might have turned him on secretly.
and understand, she continued to fuck other people. You know what I'm saying? Even to the point that, I'm not going to give too much away, he ended up having a baby because she couldn't have a baby and gave her the baby to raise. Now, why I bring this up, people, and which brings us to the conversation we were talking about monogamy and us being together. This was a man that was considered a great man, considered one of the greatest conquerors of all time, was a fucking cuck. Mm-hmm. Do y'all actually think the shit that y'all seeing now is actually new?
No, not at all.
Oh, and by the way, they supposed to be what, Catholic or something? But see, that's what I'm saying. It's like marriage really was more so, like I said, transactional. But think about it: the kings and queens, some of them kings were gay. Mm-hmm. They didn't want to fuck their wife, so who the wife gonna do? It's just because the queen had to be virtuous, like you said, that wasn't put out there. The man could look that way, but people didn't think that women had their sides.
Oh, they had their side, guys. Yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna ask you a question. What's the most famous cheat story you ever heard? Well, I got one, but
well, okay. The freakiest story that, like, from a famous person, like who we would think is
like okay, like mine is this: King Arthur. Mm-hmm. Guinevere.
She was betrothed. Yep.
She fucked Lancelot. Mm-hmm. And King Arthur kept her. That's why I said, because of Christian belief, they didn't want to tell you that they actually had no issue with it. But I digress. But
I don't know of anybody specific, but I know that in the history books I read during college, Hitler, he had a lot of interesting predilections. Let's just say that. He was into scat play. He was into, golden showers. He was into some creepy, necro kind of stuff. So you're like, interesting. A man that's, dominated the world, not in a good way, but he dominated for a while until he was finally taken out. But he was
how sick he was sexually.
Yeah, he was.
Well, not sick sexually, but how, you know what I'm saying? Because to me, I think sometimes watching the Napoleon movie, I said to myself, I'm
Mhm.
like, interesting. Because if you really were paying attention to the movie, everything was cuck. Like, it wouldn't surprise me he didn't cleaned up. I'm dead serious. It's like that, submissive and shit like that. So why do people think that the BDSM, the polyamorous, because they would think about Rome.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, if
Yep.
incest was the thing back then, and we won't talk about stepson and stepmom. No, it was.
No,
I
it
don't
was
even want
brother, sister, cousin, first. Yeah. It was also to keep the bloodlines pure in their
to. Yeah.
minds and
Mm-hmm.
to keep the royalty in order, again, back to power. Um, a lot of your marriages, even though one person may have been gay or a slut or whatever, um, it was a binding contract. It was to keep two kingdoms from warring, okay, to
Yeah.
create a peace, create a bond, so that, okay, let's stop fighting, you make this marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but it's all contracts, it was business deals.
Yeah.
A lot of your uh, females, I mean, look, you have even now in India, they
Yeah.
have the families, the wealthier families,
Mm-hmm.
they arrange marriages.
Yeah.
Asia, they arrange, they're like, okay, my family, your family, it's good business.
I mean,
And the
if
wives,
you think about it, before Christianity and all that, that what marriage was arranged. The two families here.
mhm, yep,
I want us to work together. So your son is going to marry
and my daughter,
my daughter. Now,
yep,
probably some of the times, and not 9 out of 10 of the times, the daughter took one for the team, and it guaranteed. And like the reason why I say she take one for the team, because let's just say he was not guaranteed to be good looking or had good sex or have a big dick or what have you. You know, period. The way Napoleon was fucking that child, I could see why she was cheating. But but the thing about it is, if, like I said, I don't think that the king who's getting him is gonna give a fuck if he don't even give a fuck about fucking the queen that she's getting hers. No, there ain't nobody,
true,
no, you know what I'm saying?
yep.
Period. And to me, it's kind of like, I'm gonna ask you a question. What historical queen do you think that everybody was thinking that she didn't get was getting it, but was probably getting it? Was getting it.
Mm, Queen Anne, I think she probably was getting it a lot more than what people think she is, or Queen Elizabeth too, because
I mean, she was
I
single for
think
a long time.
she was.
She was into
So
women. Something tell me she would buy. She would eat pussy
it
too.
wouldn't it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me.
She might have had a strap on and everything. Yes, they had strap-ons back then. Yes, they did.
Oh
Yes, that's
gosh,
not
yeah.
new. Dildos
They
is
had
not new.
condoms. Nope. Oh
Yes,
gosh,
they
look at all
did.
the phallic symbols. Look at all the phallic symbols. They have, okay. So I've actually I lived in Japan for 8 years
Mm-hmm.
total, not all at once. And they have phallic festivals, fertility festivals. There's
Mm-hmm.
giant penises all over the place. So it's kind of funny. We sit and laugh at it as Americans, but um, it's during the springtime and it
Mm-hmm.
makes sense. So,
Yeah.
but they've had dildos for a very, very long time. They've had, they used to use sheep intestine as condoms, um,
Yeah.
try to keep people from getting pregnant. And yeah,
No, it think about this. Even back in England and France, you was not a cool lord if you didn't have a whore.
exactly.
They used
Multiple.
to look at you, they'd be like, "Man, where's your bloody whore? You're not stylish. You need to
Mhm.
go to the whorehouse, to the brothel, and you need to get yourself a whore."
Mhm.
it,
Well, look, I mean, you said concubines earlier. Who are the most famous concubines? Geisha.
Yes.
Arts, reading, intelligent, demure, and
Mm,
they were there to serve men.
yeah.
But they had to be able to hold conversations. So it was, if they were the women who were geisha, it was a
Mm,
privilege and an honor because they got to be educated. They got to be have a sense of power,
mm.
and they controlled it.
And see the thing also, which I'm not pandering. Women power has always been prevalent in the world. It's just Christianity didn't want you to think that. Because see, also part of it is that I've been said this, they don't teach sexual wellness within the religion. They don't teach having a healthy sex life with your mate, wherever that may be. Because also it if this is how I look at it. You have it's like a circle, right? You have the inner circle with you and your husband. That's the core of what it is, period.
Mhm.
Once that is strong, then the exploration into others can be done, period. Now
Mhm.
I'm not saying
Correct.
this is for everybody, but because it also takes, and you can speak to this, a somewhat of a emotional maturity to even be in this,
Correct.
period. Because because also part of doing this is doing it for the right reasons.
Mhm. That's true. That's true. I think it not just Christianity, but most of your major religions, um, they do not think women should be sexual beings at all.
Mm-mm.
Um, they are there for the use of men. So, at
But
least in
but
your
that was
Western
crazy.
societies,
But that's what's crazy because the use of men is sexuality. That's the funny part.
yeah, exactly, exactly, exactly.
I mean, it because it's even to the point where it's like and I was hearing somebody talking about Deuteronomy. It was like, yeah, if you see a virgin, yeah, you can rape her. If you like her, you can keep her. It's sex. So it's like, yeah, y'all here for us to fuck. But then you sit here and say, no, you're not supposed to enjoy the fuck though.
That's right. You're not allowed to enjoy the carnal pleasures.
You're allowed to be pregnant, but you're not allowed to actually suck a dick and squirt from sucking the dick.
True.
Yeah, I mean, period. So, but to me, it's like that's the beauty of being the swinger in the poly because this is the lifestyle that allows you to feel free sexually,
Hmm.
period.
But
But
still
I'm
have a
like,
good anchor.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Because to me, I think that anchor is necessary because sometimes people need an anchor.
They do. They need a guide. And if you have a good core, a good foundation at home, and you're free to express your feelings, and there's that communication, that trust that's built within you.
Mhm.
It just completes it full circle, and then you can enjoy what life really has to offer. So, it's not for everybody. This lifestyle is not for everybody, but it works for me.
Oh, definitely.
It
So,
works for several other people too.
and see, too, also being in the Hot GILF Tour, you also around people that's in the lifestyle that also are married as well. So it kind
Oh,
of gives
absolutely.
you somebody that you can bounce off of that y'all are have equal experiences.
Hmm. Foxy, darling, she is her husband, Chris. Mr. Foxy. They are the ones who are running the Hot GILF Tour, and yeah, he's her biggest fan, and he supports her, and he's working with side by side with her now. their dynamic is not the same as my dynamic, but very supportive. Angel Minks and Chris Minks.
Yeah, shouts out to my homies.
I love them. They're amazing.
They're
So
so cute
amazing.
together.
They are. They're really.
They're just so adorable.
But yeah, so they're part of the. And there's several Candy, Hot Wife Candy. She's on the tour. Her husband comes along with her. And we have several that are single. But yeah, they have. Oh, we have one that has a female partner. So
yeah. But see, but it's crazy because even though we have hot wives, people still think that we can't be married, not realizing how much of the industry is married is doing this. Because I think also because the industry has moved to an older demographic as far as the talent. You know what I'm saying?
True.
It lends to why there's an uptick of more people that are married in the industry.
I agree. I mean, you got Brandy Love, you've got Sika, you've got who else? Oh Lord, she's not married, I don't think. Gosh, I mean, I have their faces in my head, right? Oh, Janet Mason. Yeah, I mean, these are OGs in the industry, and they're successfully married and still creating and sexy as fuck. So yeah.
Yeah, because I think that what it's showing to me is that sex appeal is ageless.
True.
And porn proves it the most, because it's crazy how when porn started getting older, because I remember Lisa Ann, Sarah J. When the milk started happening, that's when we saw Housewives of Atlanta. That's when we, period. So it's like, to me, what is it, in your opinion, that made porn realize the value of MILFs and GILFs that ain't no one thought about?
I don't think there was one specific thing. The demographic that is consuming has gotten older as well. And so the more mature men are looking at, they're like, oh, I still find these women sexy. They still have that thing that turns me on. And then the younger men are like, they always have kind of a fantasy of, man, I want to fuck Stifler's mom. And and so there's the mom factor. They're like, oh man, I want to fuck your mom. I actually had my son, a couple of his friends were like, man, your mom's so hot. And my son was like, stop, don't stop. And so yeah, I just smiled. I never did, because that would be,
crazy.
But that would
be
crazy.
It would make for a great porn scene, though.
It would. I actually did a scene with Big Mr. Biggs, based out of New York. So I did one, Johnny's mom, and so I played that angle up. Like, he came over to see Johnny, and I thought Johnny was here. He's not here. Oh, okay. Yeah. He's like, oh, you look sexy, and I'm like, oh yeah, thank you. And so it was Johnny's friend. So I did play that role up. That's how.
Oh my goodness! Now my favorite one was me and the mother meeting. It's during the time that our two kids are getting married, so we're in-laws.
Oh, that would be a good one. Yeah.
Because to me, I think that you should play into your age. When you do scenes, especially role play scenes or gonzo scenes, whatever y'all want to call it, because to me, it's a story that's there, period. Relatable. And plus, I think, because even to the point that it's crazy how relatable it is that a man wants to fuck an older woman.
That's right. Mrs. Robinson. I mean, come on now. So
Claire Huxtable,
yeah,
God dang it, Miss Parker.
yeah, she was beautiful. Miss Parker, exactly.
Uh, yeah, but that was her name from the Brady Bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's because I'm sorry. It's like even when you think about Dynasty, like them was
Yeah.
milfs. They won't no young
So,
girls and them do.
mm-mm. Those ladies, Evangel, what it was it? What was her
Damn.
name? I can think of it. Elizabeth Taylor.
Yeah,
Like, she was gorgeous. Oh,
yeah.
beautiful. It just,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Even when people think about Mae West was in her 30s. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the concept
Lady Lamar.
of men being turned on by a MILF or a GILF has
Mm-hmm.
always been there. So it's like, once again, y'all see the theme of this show. It's always been there. This is not new.
Always been there. Mm-mm.
Come on, Van Halen, hot for teacher.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know, and so, but I ain't gonna front. How good does it feel to know that as you get older, the world considers you even more sexier
It's
versus
a confidence.
when we was younger.
It's a confidence booster for sure. And, we all realize our age as we get older. We can't get up and down the stairs as easy as we used to. We creak and, we have our health issues. Um, but to still feel desired, I think all humans need that connection, that hey, I still have it. It makes you feel good.
Yeah,
And yeah, so we're sexual beings, and to know that somebody wants to partake in your sexy deliciousness, it's an ego boost. Men like to be, oh damn, you look hot today. They like to be flirted
yeah.
with. Women like to be flirted with, and just nice things. Oh, you look
Yeah.
gorgeous today. Thank you.
So there you go, people. We didn't hope we didn't entertain y'all and held up here for an hour. And you know that the Huntress will be back. You know she will be coming back to the premium smoke room, people, on loyal fans. That's right, people. If you subscribe now, you can go see the episode that's up there, and she will be back for another one. We're talking about 5 premium podcasts for you to enjoy, special events. Plus, I got a Triple X video store for you to see me give them ladies the work. And you know it gets more provocative, it gets more crazy, it gets more wild, it gets more unpredictable. When tits come out, dildos might come out. You don't know unless you subscribe. And for my Spotify users, Savage Smoke, where I talk to the industry, top male talents and producers, we give you that smoke about the industry through a male's perspective. Currently, I have my man Sean Dom as well as Jay Play Hard right now. So go subscribe over there. Plus, you can binge listen and watch to over 400 episodes ranging from limited podcast series that I've done in the past, premium smoke podcast episodes that's not on loyal fans, and special stuff that I'll be doing strictly for you guys. So that being said, Holly, tell everybody where they can spend money on your sexy ass, baby.
Well, you can find me on X. That's got my link tree in it. I'm on MiniVids. I'm on OnlyFans. I just have a loyal fans. I've got some X videos going to be posting up here soon for my Sheer account. So if you want to find it all in one location, check out my X account, Hollee Huntress on X. And GILF Tour. We're having a website come up soon, so you'll be finding all our locations, our travel plans, where all the ladies are, so not just me, all the beautiful ladies that I get to hang out with and create scenes with. Because we definitely plan on having some series called 3 GILFs and a MILF, where that we are going to have some MILFs come in and level up, because those MILFs turn into GILFs, right? And so it's like a
Yeah.
sorority up step. So that's what we're trying to look for this kind of the tour. And again, I'm honored to be a part of it. And come check us out. We love to have all our new fans come see us.
No doubt, people. So, yeah. y'all need to be on the lookout for that Hot GILF Tour, people, and everything. And hopefully, since Links and them do live in NC, maybe they might bring it through NC that I can actually be a part of the Hot GILF Tour, do some podcasting within that bitch.
We have a shoot in Myrtle Beach.
Ooh. Yeah, I may have to
Yes.
come down there. I'm not going to be in front of the camera, but I will be podcasting, talking to people,
That
interviewing.
sounds great.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Myrtle Beach. Oh, I like Myrtle Beach. I ain't gonna front. I always have fun
Yeah.
at this piece. So, but anyway, people. So anyway, you know how? Well, excuse me. I'm sorry. What did we learn? Well, what we need to smoke over. Well, sex has been here since the beginning of time. Whether you believe in the Anunnakis, creation, whatever religion, fucking has always been here. A dick has went in the hole. Whether it was a butthole, whether it was a pussy hole, whether it was a mouth. So that means that a lot of stuff from BDSM, poly, and non-traditional monogamous marriages or what have you has always been around. It's just been frowned upon because society feels that you should be with only one person, no matter how much your pussy or dick feels that it needs to poke others. You feel me?
Yep. Yep.
And why has it been that way? Well, because sexual freedom equals mental freedom.
Mm-hmm.
It means that you're now about to reach a higher consciousness. La petite le meilleur. I might have said that fucking wrong, but who cares? I tried to. Little
You got it
death,
close.
orgasm. Little orgasm. You feel me? Little death, orgasm. William Shakespeare said that. When you bust a nut, yes, you do reach a different mental plane, a subspace per se.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you a dude or a female. I don't care if you squirt cream or he spits or he drools. We talking about the way we come.
Oh yeah.
It does take you to another level. And see, the thing of it is sex is not just physical; it's also a mental side of it. And see, that's the reason why they don't want you to be sexually free. They don't want you to dibble dabble in BDSM. It's gay for a man to be pegged, and it's weak for a man to wear a cage and watch his woman get fucked by another dude. And he's about to come on himself while doing it. But last I checked, y'all said that if you're married under the eyes of God, that you're good, right? That's what y'all said, right? So that means if me and her is married and if I choose to watch her get railed by 4 big ass dicks and I enjoy every bit of it, that's within the goddamn rules. What you complaining about and what the fuck you judging?
I don't think that's cheating. That's honest.
And see, that's the point. Everything's consented and we know. That's the greatest
That's liberation.
security. Yeah, that's liberation. Because you want to know why? Because now you're not insecure. See, insecurity is what keep you people locked mentally from a higher, consciousness. Because you worried that because he got a bigger dick, she gonna leave you for it. Not realizing that that bigger dick might unlock a sexualness about her that you might get to enjoy, you might love. Oh, and by the way, balance counts. You get to play too. See? You have to allow yourself the grace of sexual discovery. Now, that was y'all should have learned from this. And with that being said, we end these things all day, every day. Life is a learning experience. What's the point of the experience if you haven't learned anything? Smoke this over. Holly, say goodbye to him, baby.
Good night, guys. Have a great night.